So a shout out to the guys at 7 Points Capital. You guys have inspired me to do this, and everyone who's watching this, subscribe to this channel and follow me on Twitter. I'll be doing a daily review every single day from now on. Um, Today's two main watches were Five and Tesla. Tesla was my main watch because the pre-market action on this was like pretty interesting. Five was a SSR, and I'm currently in the process of learning how to trade SSR stocks because they act a little bit different. And I took a bad loss on Friday trading a SSR stock. So what I was trying to do today was take it easy. I wasn't going to place any trades, but I was gonna sit on the screen for as long as possible and just just practice, mentally practice, and get back in the game. Anyways, so pre-market action in Tesla was very interesting. I watched Mike Katz's video where he talked about taking a position in Tesla and how he thought it was a short. But when I saw this pre-market action here, it it did not look like a short. Just it breaching and breaching up and like invading like this level right here. Like it just did not look like a short. And especially if you look at the daily time frame, if it opened up here, right? If it gaps up and opens up here, if it can rally really hard, just from a technical point of view on the daily chart, it would look really beautiful. And I've noticed this in the past as well. If something gaps up and down like this and it doesn't make a low, it does not make a low as soon as it opens. Like it doesn't go down, it goes up instead. Most of well, this is not like a statistical thing, but like if it doesn't go below, think about what it's gonna look like on the daily chart, right? A little bit messy, but if it just keeps going up, then it looks like this beautiful, like it opened down here, opened at the low of the day, closed at the high of the day, kind of a thing. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, this thing can. It looks very interesting on the long side. Anyways, it opens up pretty strong. 15 minutes before the open, very strong buying comes in. Opens up pretty strong, goes up here, makes a little double toppy kind of action, and on this second top, a little bit of selling pressure comes in, and on like three or four different levels, the bids try to hold this selling that was occurring, but they just couldn't. It was like a mini avalanche, and it just kept going down. Goes to WeWap, and buying pressure comes in. Boom, and this candlestick kind of confirmed it. It was like it shouldn't there, it should not have been this strong. This candlestick right here. That's what it told me. If this was a short, this should not have been that strong, but it was. So, anyways, it comes back down. These two bars, these two candlesticks cannot cross 500. Same thing occurred in these three candlesticks, which was selling pressure comes in. Bids try to hold, can't. Boom, back down. And then next candlestick, buying pressure comes in again, and it just like they try to sell it, but just buying just comes back in. And down here, when this candlestick made a new high above this candlestick, I knew with a high certainty that this is not acting like a short. And I'm not shorting this. Well, I wasn't taking a trade, but like if I were to take a trade, I would not short this unless the next bar after this death bar made a new low, which it didn't. Held above the WeWap, and then just buying comes in, and boom, 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 makes an all-time high again. Over here, saw a little bit of selling here, but it wasn't substantial. Again, just kept watching it, and then over here, as I'm about to give up, I was actually about to go to the bathroom, just leave my screen right here, and I saw the offer stuff, and the price starts going up, and it makes a new all-time high again. But then selling just slams it back down. It was just bam. Selling slams it back down. Selling occurs here again. Two candles stick around. This bar, same thing happened as this bar. Goes up, but then slams it back down. Over here, this candle was really interesting. What happened here was it makes a new low, but it acted a little bit in a little bit of a weird way, where like buying came back again, even though it breached the low of this low over here. And it reminded me a lot of this candle and this candle, where buying subsequently came in and then went higher. Same thing happened here again. Buying comes in and it just wobbles around and then it just grinds up. As soon as this breakout happened, I make this note, and I said it seems like this is going to slowly grind and then up. I try to like type things in like my own lingo. What that meant was like, is it gonna slowly grind and then it just shoots up. And yeah, over here, this bar was a clear signal to me that this is a long. Because if you look at the volume here, for a bar this big, look at the volume. It's less than, it's like well, it's exactly this, almost the same as this candlestick over here. But for a candlestick this big, it should not, there should be higher volume. That's not what happened. And then buying came back in again, and it didn't. If it made a new low below this low over here, what's the low here? 503.20. Then okay, I understand, but it didn't. It held up, and then buying came back in again. And over here, I made a note. I was like, okay, this is definitely going to breach. Not definitely. I mean, we're traders, right? We deal in probabilities, but I am very certain that this is going to break out. And then I made a note down here, and I said that on the breakout, if the volume is persistently high, then this reminds me of AMD. I traded AMD like a couple weeks ago, I think, or last week. Not last week, a couple weeks ago, where it had this kind of the same kind of setup happening. It was making an all-time high. Analysts were upgrading their price targets, and then AMD just like goes up in the morning, wobbles around, and then makes a clear breakout like it did over here above the all-time high. And then one thing I did notice was that volume was sustained. It was sustained after that breakout. Like volume was sustained at a higher level than it was before the breakout. So that's very evident. I mean, look at this. From here to here, like this volume area looks very. It looks more elevated than this area over here, right? Exact same thing happened here. And then as it came up here, this looked like a short, but then buying comes back in again, and this, I mean, the same kind of spiel. And over here, I had actually left because I was actually feeling that good. But it was a pretty interesting watch, this one. And I learned a lot from this setup. Made a lot of things click in for me. And if I could go back, what I would have done, here's what I would have done. Right here, when it couldn't cross 500, I would have gone short. And I would have covered when this death candle made a high above this bar over here. So I would have covered there. And then I would have gone short on this bar here again. And then I would have covered when it came up to 503. And then I would have gone long over here. And yeah, that's what I would have done. But anyways, that was my daily review, and thank you for watching.